Hey, what's going on? It's Doug Cunnington here. This is the live Q&A session for Amazon affiliate stuff and internet marketing and me just talking about stuff. So I didn't schedule this ahead of time. And in fact, I'm starting a couple minutes late. I had a couple technical difficulties, but I hope everyone is having a good new year. We're a few days in. I think some people still have the week off, just the way the calendar fell this year. We have a few folks on. Give me a shout in the chat. So we have Alwyn and Rosie, and I think it'll be a slow start. But I'm going to jump into stuff right away because I know some people watch the replays later. So I'm going to jump into a couple announcements really fast here, and I'll keep repeating it over and over again. So a couple very exciting things going on. So number one, I've threatened many times to launch a podcast of my own, and I'm going to do it. It's called The Doug Show. You can find more information at doug.show. It's a very simple URL, doug.show. There's a trailer out there. The first episode is going to come out on Monday, January 14th. So go ahead and subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you check it out. There's a link in the description as well. And as I mentioned, I'll be talking about it often. So have a look. You can, if you have seen some of these videos, you can probably imagine what it's going to be about. I'm going to talk about a lot of affiliate marketing. I'm going to interview probably a lot of people. I'm going to try and have some interviews mixed in as well, probably around 50%. I'm going to talk to success stories. So people in the audience, students of mine, people that I know that have success stories that can help inspire other folks. So that's probably going to be, 30 to 50%, something like that. There's going to be another portion where I talk about some technical topic. And I think most likely I'm going to go outside of like the normal area of just marketing talk and productivity and all that. And there will be some casual episodes mixed in. In fact, I'll probably experiment some with some like short form, just 5, 10, 15 minutes, like pretty quick episodes, and then some longer ones. In fact, some of the ones where you have like interviews, they may go over an hour. So sometimes those go really well. And for hands-on, I'm going to come back to the chat in just a second. So that's the first announcement. The podcast will be coming out. I have a bunch of episodes where I have like the raw material and I just need to sort of master them and do the post-production work. So that's really cool. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be interviewing a lot of people. Probably I'm going to bring on a lot of experts, get insight in certain areas, especially around keyword research. So that's cool. Very excited about that. Next thing to announce is the following week. January the 21st, I'm doing a free mini course. All right. It's a free mini course. It comes out by email. If you've been on my email list, you have probably seen this mini course. It is extremely popular. In fact, some people go through it multiple times, which is kind of cool just in general. So keep a lookout on January the 21st. If you are not on my email list, in fact, I was talking to a coaching student yesterday who he found some YouTube videos, wanted to get some help, signed up for coaching with me. We talked for a while, recorded the video. I'm going to get it out to him pretty soon here. But basically, he's not on the email list, so he didn't know about like any of the templates or any of the freebies that I offer, or the fact that this mini course was coming out. So if you're not on the email list, you could click, I think, one of the early links below, head over to Niche Site Project. You'll be able to sign up. There should be a few mechanisms. If you see a link for like, hey, download my templates or whatever, that is how you get on the email list. And like I said, go ahead and hop on there and you can participate. So, okay. Back over to the chat in a second. I'll do some more announcements. I'll probably repeat those shortly. So thanks everyone for hopping over to doug.show. Again, simple, extremely simple URL. And I'm kind of pumped that I got a short URL like that. There's a lot of TLDs out there, the top level domains. So you don't have to get .com or .org or .net or whatever. There's a ton of them out there now. So doug.show was not taken. So I snagged it. In fact, there wasn't another show called The Doug Show either. which is cool because there's a lot of people named Duck. Not that many, but there are a lot of people. All right. Next, we have Ahrefs. We have Arbaz. What's up? Alwyn says, if you launch a new site and you start building links within the first week, we'll end up with a longer sandbox. I don't know. Why would you think that? I would think it's a shorter sandbox. Abdur says, hope you're doing good. Happy New Year. You messaged me on Facebook regarding your website as you did keyword research and blah, blah, blah. All right. I will be honest with you. I hate Facebook. All right. I hate Facebook. So if you send me a message over there, it is in a queue of like 400 messages that I'm not answering. So no offense, but I will not answer it there. So why don't you ask it right here, right now, and then we can have some dialogue going back and forth. So I just do not like Facebook. And I was actually looking over there because I have, if you could imagine this, all right, if you could imagine this, Abdur, I have like 700 friend requests of about 700 people that I don't know. Actually, there may be like 5 or 10 people that I do know in there, but it's buried in the mess of all these people that I have no idea who they are. So I was at a crossroads, and I almost did this yesterday. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to accept every single friend request and then just treat Facebook like a piece of garbage where I just talk about myself and I use it as a platform. And I know a lot of people do that, but I don't want to do extra stuff just in general. So I'm sorry I didn't answer your question. That is exactly why. But I encourage you to just copy and paste it and put it in here. And I can guarantee you I won't answer it on Facebook. All right. Arbaz says, hello, sir. What is the best theme for the Amazon affiliate site? Okay. And what I'm going to try and do, we're going to mix it up a little bit, partially for my own enjoyment. And then another part is to just have some more thorough answers, because sometimes these sessions get weird. All right. Sometimes they get weird. So this is a common question. And what I'll do, Arbaz, please have a look at the link I just pasted in the chat. All right. And thank you. Oh, Furhan is way ahead of me. Thank you so much for doing that. And thank Furhan for being a kind moderator. You could tell that because his name is in blue. So my take on a WordPress theme is different than some other people. So most of the time, you're going to run across folks who are affiliates for certain companies. Now, I'm an affiliate for a few companies, but I'm not going to mention any specific themes here. The reason why is I don't really care. When people are taking money for recommending a product, you have to suspect everything that they're telling you. All right. So suspect me, number one, but the other people who are saying, well, you got to use this theme because it is simply the best one. Their incentives are different than yours. And sometimes, and this happened to me, there was a particular theme that I used and it sucked. I hated it and the customer service was terrible, but they are really good marketers and they have a lot of friends in high places. So they were recommended all over the place. So anyway, I hate that theme and I try not to use it ever. But here's my philosophy on themes in general. So I want the theme to stay out of the way. I don't want to think about formatting it and put in all these short codes and stuff like that. And I don't want it to be complicated. I also don't want an issue if I decide to change to a different theme. So what does that mean? If there's a theme that has all this rich formatting, that has all these short codes and stuff, and it looks beautiful and sexy and all that, and it's complicated, maybe there's like tabs, and then you have like different menus, and you have a table of contents that's expandable, and you have all these little things like that, you know? If you migrate and use a new theme, it's all going to be screwed up, right? It's not going to work, and you're going to have all this work to do. So you're going to stay on that crappy theme that you want to change from. So that is why I want the theme to stay out of the way. So overall, I just want the theme to be simple, easy to read. I want it to load fast, and I don't want to have a million settings to screw around with. If you want an example, go over like medium.com. It's like white background, black text, very clean. Go to niche site project. Same deal. I have it too busy. I have a sidebar on there. I really don't like to have that, but a lot of people want to have a search bar and all this stuff. So I'm testing it for a little while. The point is, I want the theme to stay out of the way. So what theme is best? It doesn't matter. It really seriously doesn't matter. Just if you have a theme already, just use that theme. Save your time, save your money. Use the theme that you already have. As long as it is displaying content for mobile, for desktops, tablets, clearly, you're going to be okay. So in general, if you have very low budget and you want to just like get started quick, I recommend you just use the theme you have. If you don't have any themes, then use one of the default WordPress themes like 2019 or 2018 or 2017 or fill in the blank, right? You're not going to have many templates to work from, but what you will have is like a simple site. And it's probably going to be really secure because it's put out by WordPress. If you want a little more variety, you could check out the themes put out by Automatic. That is the parent company of WordPress. So those two, not all of them are free, but those are going to be faster. They're going to have more options and so on. And if you want more details, go head over to that link that Furhan pasted in there, and that'll give you a little bit more info. All right. What's next? What do we have here? All right. ZH says, is it good choice if I put just one blog post or review product per month in your affiliate website? Is it fine? Sure, that's fine. People are limited with the amount of time that they could put in. So if you could only afford that much time to write, that much money or whatever, one per month will be fine. If you can publish 50 in 1 month, well, that'll be better. That'll be like 50 times better. So the more you can do, the more work you do, the better. If you're asking if you need to publish on a regular basis, the answer is you do not. So don't worry about it. All right. Hi. What's up? We have Jay says, nice video. Cool. Arbaz says, Sir Imp 1, can you explain fully, does page ranks better than post? No, it doesn't matter. Pages are, I'm going to translate that. I think this person is asking, do pages rank better than posts? The answer is no, it doesn't matter. All right. Motivational Word says, hey, Doug, can we use Amazon image screenshot in your content? You can, but not if you're in the Amazon affiliate program. If you're an Amazon associate, then the answer is no. There are a lot of rules about the images and the way that you can use them. Taking a screenshot is not cool. You could use that as a fair use situation, but if you're in the Amazon associate program, well, then you can't. So there is a question. Let's see. In the frequently asked questions section, I do answer a question about images. So I recommend you take a look at the FAQ section. In fact, right now is a good time. Right now is a good time for me to hit more of the announcements. So if you just showed up, welcome, thank you, Happy New Year, and all that stuff. 2 announcements. 1, go to doug.show. That is the home of my new podcast that's coming out in like 10 days or so. Have a bunch of success stories, have a bunch of interviews to share. I'm going to probably throw in a random episode here and there as well. So do check it out. I love podcasts. I love the long form content. I have found, this is my own sort of pressure that I put on myself, but I've found that YouTube, I'm accepting the pressure from YouTube. So YouTube wants you to publish a lot of content. Most people seem to enjoy videos that are in the, 6 to roughly 15-minute range is kind of the area. However, if you're, a lot of people watch these for a pretty long time. But overall, people like shorter form content, and then there's all these distractions where basically I'm looking at my feed for this right now, and there's a Joe Rogan, there's Conan, there's a bunch of music stuff, there's all these stand-up comedians. So like constant distractions are like in your way on YouTube, right? So part of it was that where I'm just like, if I want to do a longer form and I want people to listen to it and pay attention, a lot of times a podcast may be a better route for me to do it. Now, the other thing is I could publish them, and actually the important people that are interested in the particular topic of the video, even if it's an hour, they will watch the whole thing, because I've done that. I've watched really long content on YouTube. But the point is I ended up, really enjoying doing a portion of the work on YouTube, publishing a lot of videos. I like setting up the systems and going through all of that. At the same time, like when I took a step back, I was like, is this the ROI that I thought it was going to be? Is this worth my while? Am I also enjoying it? Because there's a big ROI of enjoying it. At some point, I was like, you know what? This is not exactly what I thought. And if you follow some other YouTube creators, you'll hear there's like burnout. A lot of people get frustrated, and none of my stuff's going viral, which is fine. That was not ever the point. But you would think, hey, maybe one or two things may catch on. Well, I got a face for radio is what I'm trying to say. So moving on, Doug.show, go check it out. Please check out the trailer. First episode is dropping on the 14th. That's Monday. So just like a little over a week away. I'll continue to talk about it. I'm going to do a lot of interviews. In fact, I haven't set the schedule exactly, but maybe we can ask people, leave comments, leave stuff in the chat here. I'm curious, would you rather hear more on like success stories from like students, or would you rather hear like some side hustle interviews and stuff first? So they're all going to come out eventually, but I'm just not sure which order to play them in. So, and it turns out it may not matter that much. I mean, I'll just pick one and move forward, but it could be interesting to get some input from the fine people here. All right. The other announcement is on January 21st. Hopefully I'm getting my days right. That is the following Monday, free mini course. Sort of gets you ready to start a new site, or to just sort of focus you on, working on a site that you already have. I know a lot of people already have a site out there. I'm going to get over to the chat in a second here. So free mini course, all you have to do is make sure you're on my email list. If you have been on the email list, you will recognize that it is a mini course that you've received before. It's very popular, and I do it every quarter because it's quite motivational for people to get the emails. Okay, let's see, what do we have going on here? All right. Okay, so motivational world. To actually answer your question, can you use the screenshot from Amazon? Generally, no. O2, what's going on? Thanks for hopping on. Hiking Gear, thanks. Happy New Year to you as well and your family. Rohit, what's going on? We have Echo. You reached your first $100 month. And for people who don't know Echo is a high school student. So he just hit $100 in a month, which is fantastic. All right. Arbaz says, can I recommend the best WordPress hosting for Amazon sites? Again, it doesn't really matter all that much. There's no best anything. So you could, like if you keep asking those kind of questions, you'll get the same sort of generic answers, which aren't extremely helpful. I'll say it like that. Most everything that you're asking doesn't matter. Just move forward. All right. There's a link in the description, though, if you want to see my experience with hosting. All right. Link in the chat. That's what I meant. Link in the chat, Arbaz. All right. Oh, Shazor says, congrats for the Doug show. Thank you. Echo says, what do I think? What do you think I can do to really make that number rise? Just content and more backlinks. Generally, yep. One thing you can do, this applies to affiliate sites and everything else, have a look at the data. At this point, you have enough data. You hit $100 a month. All that stuff is fantastic. Congratulations. Now you have enough data to go, look what pages are doing well. See what terms you're ranking well for. And then you can sort of reverse engineer and figure out like the common thread between the things that are doing well. And then after that, you can do more of the things that are doing well. Also analyze, what you thought was going to do well and it did not, and then figure out why that happened. The point is you do less of the bad stuff, do more of the good stuff, and then you can sort of focus on not wasting time. All right, DNA, what's up? Ray says, what's my take on Google My Business for Amazon affiliate sites? Is it necessary? Will it affect rankings for 2019? I actually don't know what that is. I don't expect it to have a major impact on rankings because I have not even heard of it. That said, I'm not that up to speed with all like the new stuff. So sorry, Ray, I have no idea. All right. Jay says, can you create a site reviewing products way more than $3,000 on Amazon? Sure, you can do that. I don't recommend you do that though, but you could do that. Michael says you have you have an Amazon affiliate niche site you've been working on since mid-October. You have 30 articles. Am I willing to take a look at it and give me your opinion so far? Sure, Michael. I don't do that for free though. So I do, let's see, where's my hire me page. So if you're interested, I could take a look. There are probably people in the chat, maybe not, but that have gotten coaching from me. But in general, here's the deal. Kind of like the Facebook messages, I get probably 3 or 4 people asking me to spend time looking at their site. And I don't have time to like just critique people's sites. So I charge for it. And that is just how the world works. So if you want me to take a look, happy to. I audit it. I give you an action plan out of it. I make a recording for you and I share it with you privately. And then you can go and review it and take action. You could hire people to do whatever needs to be done, or you could do it yourself. And then most of the time, I can look at your homepage, look at some of your reviews, and give you good recommendations on something that you didn't know was a mistake. So, yep, happy to take a look, have a look at the Hire Me page, and hopefully I'll hear from you. All right, Sabir, what's up? DNA says, you want to know if you're writing content, can you use images, blah, blah, blah. All right, DNA and anyone else who's asking about images, let me find the exact link. Where is that at? Okay, so I put a link in about images. Basically, there are rules about images. All right, so you just need to make sure you follow the rules, or you will get kicked out. All right, Sabir says you're very confused. Which niche is perfect to start? You're very good at Pinterest and Instagram. Is that a plus? Sure. There's no perfect niche, so don't try and find a perfect niche. Rosie says, in 2019, Google announced that they would penalize people to get backlinks on purpose, like guest posting, exchange of links. What's your take on that? Rosie, is that like a new announcement? That's basically how they've been operating for years. So I'm not sure if it's something new. What's my take on it? I'm continuing to operate as normal. Basically, if you look at actually, I'm going to write a blog post most likely and maybe do a video on just examples of big influential influencers, right? To be redundant, that guest post. So if you look at like I don't know, like Tim Ferriss, if you look at Ramit Sethi, if you look at Pat Flynn, Brian Dean, you could find like tons of examples of very big bloggers that guest post on other people's sites. It's very normal to do. If you're doing some weird stuff, then you may get in trouble if you're doing it sort of like at scale and you have, poor websites that you're posting on, then that could be an issue. But in general, it's fine. Okay. All right. Echo says on my last video, can I do content without backlinks? You said something about a roundup post. Will it be possible that you teach how to do a roundup post that you can look at? Potentially. I mean, this is one of those deals, Echo. Just Google how to do a roundup post and you'll find like 50 examples to do it. These are like totally overdone in the internet marketing space. So it's pretty easy to find examples of it in other areas, right? So it could be effective in other categories and other topics and stuff like that. So that's why it could be pretty worthwhile to do. In fact, you could do a roundup post where you cover like YouTubers or Instagrammers or something like that, and it's like the top 10 people that you should follow in 2019, or maybe don't put a date on it, so it's sort of more evergreen. But all you have to do is send out emails about a topic and then publish everyone's stuff all together. So just find examples. It's like, I mean, I guess I could do a post on it. It's one of those. Actually, this is one of the reasons I'm going to do the Doug show. It'll be slightly more interesting. Like, I feel like if you can Google it and get an answer from like 50 people that is pretty good, then maybe I don't need to cover it. So that's kind of the idea. All right, Gaz says you're late. That's cool. You're driving home from work. No worries. Be careful. Do people like when do people listen or watch these? I think a lot of people are at work and they just have this streaming or something like that. I'm not sure. If you're just hopping on, go over to the Doug Show. I'm launching a podcast on the 14th. All right, so head over to doug.show. That's the home base there. And I'm going to talk about affiliate marketing, interview a lot of different people, entrepreneurs, people that own apps, digital nomads, have a handful of digital nomads. In fact, that may be a pretty good portion of some of the interviews I do, just because I know a lot of people personally who do travel quite a bit. All right. So for DNA, okay. I'll put on my patient hat today. So DNA Entertainment is unclear on the images. If that product is sold on Amazon, then from where I will be able to set the image. If we put a different image with a product name from Amazon, then it will not match the image which is on Amazon. Okay. So, all right, I got to remember I got that patient hat on. So DNA Entertainment. Number one, go read the blog post that I sent. It's in the description there. Number two, you can look, there are terms of service like on Amazon. You literally can look this up. So this is a super easy one to find. All right. And I think maybe you're just getting started and you don't, and you're not sure because you haven't built a site yet. But as soon as you sign up, you'll have access to what is called the site stripe, in which you can put an image. Now, these are smaller resolution images, but I tend to use those most often because I try not to use plugins. I try to keep things simple. If you want to use larger resolution images, then you need to use the advertising API that you have to get access to. So you don't get access to that on day one. You have to make your first 3 sales. You have to get approved into the program. So again, DNA, it sounds like maybe you haven't started any portion of it. So Don't worry about the images. Here's what you can't do. You can't download images from Amazon and then host them on your own site. You can't take screenshots like you suggested or someone suggested earlier. You can't take screenshots because you don't own those images. Now, if you took a screenshot and you were using it as a critical analysis, fair use may come in. But if you want to be part of the Amazon Associate Program, which I believe that you do, then you can't do that. So the big takeaways here are go read the post. You can't use the images like you're thinking. However, you can use images, and Amazon gives you access to specific images in a specific way. So you have to make sure you follow the rules. And it turns out Amazon has all these rules very clearly outlined. So it's pretty straightforward to just read the terms of service. All right. Our boss says, can I send you a link to the course? Sure. So I have a course. Some of the people in the chat and that are viewing are actually students. You can check that out. Enrollment is currently closed, but it will actually open up in a few weeks. So if you sign up there, that'll be good. Peter from Poland, what's up? Peter says, if I'm starting a new Amazon affiliate site, would it benefit me having a decent age metrics domain using the KGR combined with a DA30? Yes, if it's a clean domain, that will be awesome. If you could buy an existing like blog or whatever, that's the best way to go. Praneev says, can I provide some good examples for Amazon affiliate sites so we can get inspiration from it? The answer is not directly. So I try not to out anyone's site. I take that very seriously because a lot of people, it's like their livelihood, right? So people are making their money, it's supporting their families, and it's kind of just a dick move to just send out sites. However, there are like many public case studies, and I have analyzed and tore down good sites and bad sites, and I'm going to send you a link. Once I find it, I'm going to send you a link of these teardowns, and there's actually quite a few once I find them. All right, I found a playlist. I think there's like 10 in here. So go have a look there. These are all public sites that that were either a case study or they were shared elsewhere or something like that. So Pranav, have a look at that playlist. All right. O2 says, for brand new sites, how many KGR posts does it take to get some traffic? As few as 1. It'd be better to do like 20 or 30. MD, what's up? Doing good today. And here's the thing. I haven't shaved in a couple days, except my head. Got to keep that clean, you know. But it's cold out here, and I walk outside a lot because I walk my dog, Georgie, who's just taking a nap over there. Georgie's just taking a nap, but I walk outside for like hours a day, basically. And it's a little breezy. Often it's cold, but I realized I shaved like maybe it was like a week ago, and like I was getting like windburned and like not sunburned, but just like windburned, and it was really cold. My face was red for like hours afterwards, and I was like, I'm really cold. And it's funny, it's not, I can't even grow a proper beard. I mean, this is a fucking mess, really. But like just having a little bit of hair and not shaving really helps. So my face is feeling better, but I just have this crappy looking beard here. So, all right. Motivational says, how many affiliate links can we use? Can we use every single product? How many affiliate links we can use every single product? If you write 5 products in one article, what's the maximum links you could put in there without breaking Amazon rules? There's no rules, man. There's no rules on how many links you could put in an article. All right. And I pick apart questions because it's sort of my nature, apparently. Here's the deal. So there's no Amazon rules on how many affiliate links you could put on there. However, um, you don't want to put too many affiliate links in there. So it's interesting because everyone learns from all these different sources, and I have a feeling a lot of people learn from the dreaded Facebook groups, which are just a nightmare. Where there's just a lot of people talking about stuff that they don't know anything about. So that said, you end up with like bits and pieces of just fragmented misunderstandings of things. So here's the deal. I also can't answer that question because it matters how long the content is. I have to cough here. So let's say you have an article and it's 1,000 words. Well, do you think you can put the same number of affiliate links in there for like a 10,000 word post? Does that make sense? No, it makes no sense. So the answer is less is more. And the other answer is I answered that in the FAQ page. So I highly encourage you to have a look there. Generally, if I just gave you like a rule of thumb, I would say one affiliate link for every like 200, 300 words, something like that. Less is more. You could put more, but I like to put fewer. um, all right. Hiking Gear Lab says, how much do I charge for auditing a site? $247. You can have a look at the Hire Me page. I think I pasted it earlier. There you go. 247. Gaz says SiteStripe actually gives you a link to an image. Great. All right. DNA Entertainment is pushing me harder on this image thing. All right. I give up, man. I don't know. I don't know the answer then. I don't know what to tell you. Yokohama says, hey, Doug, Happy New Year. Yeah, good to see you, man. It's the first time live in a while. So good to have you. Your site's getting 5,000 visitors per month and some Amazon sales. Thanks for helping me stay motivated. Awesome. Congratulations. Blah, blah, blah. Da, 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 da. Okay. Naam says you published 15 KGR articles in the first month and they're doing pretty well without any links. Thanks, Doug. Awesome. Good job. Keep up the good work there. Gaz says, and I think you know the answer to this already, Google ads are loved or loathed, but if used with care, will Google show you more love over a site without them? So I've never tested it, but the answer is I don't think it'll make a difference because if that was a ranking factor, then people would abuse it. No one to my knowledge is abusing that, so I don't think it'll be an issue. Samu says, is there any way to check the KGR keyword ROI? How much search volume a keyword is worth? Blah, blah, blah. Not to my knowledge. I know some people have tried to quantify it, but I haven't seen a model that like actually holds up, especially over time, right? So over time, the ROI is going to, like, if you could rank for long enough, the ROI will be very high. If you're only ranking for a short time, well, it's just hard to figure that out. So the answer is I'm not sure. Good question though. And I haven't tried to quantify it so much. Peter says, in an Amazon niche site, can you embed other YouTube videos into your content? Yes, you can. That is totally cool. DNA further adds on the image stuff. You have an Amazon account, but you used it on Facebook and you earned money. You named the Facebook page Amazon, and after 2 years, Amazon asked you to remove it. Okay. Um, O2 says, as Doug said, you could take as few as one post to get traffic. You have 4. You haven't gotten any traffic. What could you be doing wrong? It looks like the posts are getting impressions. There are probably a dozen mistakes that you could be making. The most common one is keyword stuffing. 4 is not really enough. You should probably publish like 20, and then I'm pretty sure 1 or 2 are going to work out well. Then you could kind of figure out like what the issue is otherwise. Other problems, like I mentioned before, affiliate links. So you may have too many affiliate links in there and you're not ranking well. Your content could suck, right? It could be really bad, a lot of grammar mistakes or whatever. Praneev says, is there any plugin to optimize Amazon affiliate product listings for a WordPress site? Yeah, there are a lot of them, but I don't recommend you use them. There's a popular one of my friends, Alex over at WP Eagle. Good guy over there. Should check out a lot of his videos. In fact, we worked on a playlist together, the Keyword Golden Ratio Masterclass, and we both did like 5 or 6 videos for that. The point is, he like helped popularize building an Amazon site using like WooCommerce and like WooZone, and you end up with like a really terrible site with if used improperly. All right. In fact, I just had a couple coaching sessions with folks over the past week, and I audited their site, and maybe someone has 800 different products on their site, and it's all pulled from Amazon, and it looks good. It looks like an e-commerce shop, but it's like duplicate content, right? It's an unoriginal content. So there's like 800 pages of like unoriginal content on someone's site. So I don't recommend you use a plugin to optimize an affiliate product listing. Bad idea. Okay, B Beast is talking about the image stuff. Here's the deal, DNA. You can use the images from Amazon if you're using them properly. Amazon, right? I'm pretty sure they have an operating agreement with whoever is selling the product, right? So they have an agreement with the vendor, and they have permission to use the images, and you also have permission to use the images per that agreement. Now, I didn't read all the legal documentation, but basically there are rules about how you can use the images from Amazon, and if you follow the rules, the copyright will not be an issue. So I'm not sure what your issue is or why you're thinking about it so hard, or like what your hangup is. But that's about all I can offer. The other thing, DNA, is the Amazon Associate Program has multiple support channels. You can call, you can chat, you can send emails. So you literally can you can hop on the phone, talk to a live person, and ask all the questions that you're thinking about the images, any sort of copyright concerns, which I think you're misguided a little bit unless you know something I don't know, but you're really worrying about stuff that you shouldn't worry about. All right. And quick note for people that just joined up, there is a link for the FAQ section on the Niche Site Project site, where I would say about 90% of the questions that I've answered today were already answered there. However, we come on here to chat a little bit, catch up, for me to answer questions live. So if you have follow-up questions, I can maybe answer them a little bit. But it turns out if you actually need help on your site, for example, O2 says, I've published some content. I'm not getting any traffic. What could be wrong? All right. I can't answer that question effectively in this format, right? I can't see your site. You don't want to share your site either, right? If you share your site on the chat, you're going to end up with a bunch of copycats. I don't like public case studies because of that. So have a look at the FAQ section. There's a lot of them in there. Just really common stuff. And, I saw a question in here. How long should content be in the FAQ? In the FAQ, about 1,000 words is like the minimum. Actually, I'll read some of the questions. How much do sites earn from Amazon Associates? How many posts do I need on my site before I launch? How often should I post content? How long should the content be? Is it okay to publish multiple posts at once? Do you use Amazon images? Where should I put affiliate links? What disclaimer should I use? The Amazon report is wrong or it hasn't been updated. What's the problem? So those are some of the fantastic questions that I answered over there. And if you are just joining up, do head over to doug.show. There's a link in the description, and I'll probably paste the link in the chat here. Go have a look. I'm launching a podcast here in a little bit less than a week. Going to talk Amazon affiliate stuff, and people are saying that they took a look. So that's awesome. And that link is not working for me. Oh, Patrick, what's up? So you're late. But that's all right. You checked out the Doug Show yesterday and subscribe. Thank you. And you like the beard. I'm not crazy about it. I was just talking about it. It helps with the cold weather, but I just can't grow a thick beard like I could see, Patrick, you have a thick beard, and I don't have any thick hair. All right. I can't do it. I try. Even if I let it grow in for a while, it still just looks patchy and stuff. All right. Alex says, okay, good question. Sorry, I kept rambling on about nonsense. Alex says, do I have some tips on how to keep consistent? You usually do a lot of work on a specific day, and then you can't do anything else for several days. How do you make yourself do things every day? So for me personally, I think I'm fairly disciplined. So I just do it. Which is not helpful. I realize that's not helpful. But just a quick example, and it may, over time you'll get better. All right. So the main idea, and I'll come around to it a little bit more. Basically, if you can do a little bit more, like you'll form habits to just do better and work longer and all that stuff. For example, I go to the gym almost probably like it's probably like 4 to 6 times a week. And if I have like sort of more of an open schedule, I may go 7 days a week for a stretch. It just depends on what's going on. In fact, I was thinking about one of the gyms that I joined a couple years ago, which is now closed. I think there was a stretch where I went over 2 months in a row. It was over 60 days. And they had they had a board in the front, and it showed how many times you visited. As you could tell, I'm not like in fantastic shape or anything, but it's like, even the days that here's the point. Even the days that I don't want to work out, I'll still go to the gym and do a little bit, because even if I do a crappy workout for 15 minutes on the elliptical and I barely sweat, I still have the habit of going, and the 15 minutes is better than nothing, even if it was weak. The other days, right, like where I feel great, then you can get a lot done. So maybe what you could try, Alex, is to maybe, you don't do quite as much work on that specific day, and then you do just a little bit more the next day, and just try and slowly add to what you're doing there. You also have to understand like how you're motivated, like personally. So some people, right, are more motivated if they have like accountability with someone else. So sticking with the workout stuff, if I had like a trainer, there's some people would need a trainer because they know they have to show up and do what the trainer wants them to do. They're paying them. The trainer is holding you accountable for that workout. So maybe you could form a mastermind group, right? So if that helps you, if it's better for you to be accountable to other people, then maybe that's what you should do. And there's a few other sort of like personality types, and you have to understand like what motivates you. Like, are you driven by like long-term goals? Do you need a punishment? Do you need a reward? Is it accountability? Are you just like self-motivated or whatever? All right. Tahid says you're from Bangladesh. Cool. Good to have you on. Adele says, how many keywords should your site be focusing on, and what's the search volume of those keywords? I recommend you take a look at what I call the niche site process. There's a link in the description. When you're starting, it sounds like you don't have a site yet. So you can start with as few as like 10 or 12 keywords. That's all you need. And as far as the search volume, I would recommend low search volume so there'll be less competition. Hiking Gear Labs says if you offer your website for guest posting, will it boost your ranking in terms of authority or content? No, not really. Potentially for content, if you're getting good content, but just publishing content doesn't raise your authority intrinsically. Peter asks, do I recommend a comment section? Sure, I do. I do. Gaz says, can you ask a question about backlinks? You just did, I think. If you have several sites, do you backlink them together? No, not really. Google is really clever. Yeah. So you probably should. Yeah. So whatever you're thinking of doing is probably not a good idea. If there are relevant sites and they're relevant links, then sure, it could be worthwhile. All right. Next. Oh, Kevin, what's up? It is me. Holy Toledo, it is Kevin. DNA says, thanks for the answers. This type of questions I face on a daily basis in my job, and we have to answer. Don't take it on different way. I also have an Amazon seller account selling shoes. Let's see. What do you mean there? We have to answer. Don't take it on different way. All right. Oh yeah, and Kevin says, like the video. Let's get him some traction. For a little while, I was really I kind of decided I was not going to pander anymore. So like the video, I'll mention it when I'm doing like the more produced ones. But what I'll do here instead is just talk about all the other stuff that I have going on. Because I actually personally don't care if people like the video. It's nice if you do like it. But what I was doing before is I was like, hey, come on, everybody, like the video. And like, it truly doesn't matter to me. And here's why. I have to balance everything together, right? So if a few people like the video, great. But I also get comments like, hold on, got some sweet comments the other day. And people are just mean, I think. People are mean. And I read all these comments. Actually, here's a good one. Here's a nice one. There's a video that made it out that shouldn't have. I need to talk to my VA about what happened here. But Charles said, just wanted to thank you for the effort. The audio quality was bad, so you may want to cover these topics again, which is true. The audio quality, something happened with my settings and the audio like totally screwed up. So but that was a nice comment. One that I got the other day was, I wish there was a filter for like mean comments, something like that. Hold on. Where is this Joker? Oh, the questions are flowing now. Well, the point is I have to take it all with a grain of salt. So it's great when people like the videos. Fantastic. But I also get a lot of comments where people are just really mean. And you just have to deal with it. So, and I can't find I can't find it now. Okay, here's one. Best-selling toys tells me you talk without showing anything. All right. Well, then there's a weird one. Someone says they love me. And then basically someone just said, I can't find it now that I'm trying to find it. Basically, someone was like, "You're really boring. You should stop making videos." Stuff like that. Or "You're a liar." Like those are always fun. So, anyway, there was a stretch where I was pandering to get the additional likes and all that stuff, but whatever. Doesn't matter to me. But what that means is I could tell you, I could take that time to say, go to Doug.show. Subscribe. Podcast is coming out soon. If you're not on my email list, do head over to nichesiteproject.com, click the green button, sign up for the email list. You'll get access to all my templates and all the information. There's actually like I think it's about a 90-page ebook, and it goes through the whole process. So like 80% of the questions, all these super basic questions, all in there. Like how do you find the keywords, right? What kind of search volume should you look for? What is the keyword golden ratio? It goes through all that stuff. All right. Echo says the $100 a month to $15,000 a month in a year I did a couple months ago was great and very informative. Cool. Thanks, Echo, for letting me know. There's a good comment. So those are the ones I like. Those are great. All right. Matthew says, if you were to upload 60 articles that were 2,000 words in length and had relatively good keywords, what sort of traffic and income would I expect on average? 60 articles. I would say between 500 and 5,000. The really huge piece of information that you don't mention is sort of the keyword volumes that you're looking at. Additionally, is this a 1-month-old site or 5-year-old site? There's a lot of holes in there. So maybe I'll change that to $100 a month to $5,000 a month or higher, depending on many, many factors. And it also depends on like what kind of timeline you're looking at. Okay, DNA says the problem is there are emails coming from big websites when you try to use their images, even with a image link source. I have different sites on different topics. I don't know. I think you're fine. If you are using the images from Amazon properly, then you could probably defer to the Amazon stuff. I think there may be something else going on here. And I see Matthew says the articles would have, quote, low competition on average. Yeah, still don't know. Kevin says, you just posted to hire your first writer. You've heard me talk about hiring writers. Any hot tips off the top of my head for deciding on who to use? No. I'll think about it though. Next, someone says the videos are really helpful. Cool. Patrick says those mean comments are from people who aren't doing anything important in their lives. Yeah, and like at some point, actually, there's part of me where it's a little bit fun to go back and forth. But then what I started to do is just ban them from my channel so they can't comment anymore, which it just goes away. So I heard a couple other YouTubers talk about doing that, and they have like tons. I mean, they get like I get virtually no comments compared to like other creators, but yeah, people are People are mean online, you know. Motivational, is it that necessary to use exact match keyword on title or broad match? It is not necessary. However, it depends on what you're trying to do. Steven says, does anyone know what needs to be fixed according to the Medic update? You heard adding an author bio. What plugin or process to add an author bio? So, Steven, head over to Niche Site Project. There's a kind of recent post on that update. I think it may be called like EAT and Medic or something like that. I give you some suggestions, but there's no quick fix. It seems to be more of a holistic situation there. Peter says, can I recommend a membership plugin for a new site? Nah, really, I haven't done much with membership stuff, so I don't know. I have a course plugin that I use for my course. But if you're just like doing a membership site, it is probably overkill. So sorry, I'm not sure of anything. Islam says, try to share my screen with an example. It will be more helpful. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean there, buddy. Gaz says, how many products would you typically have on one site? It varies. Would they all be similar and reviewed? No. I would say hundreds of products at least. DNA says, you didn't mean to hurt you. Hurt me. You love reading the blogs. Sorry again. No, it's all good, DNA. I just here's the deal. Like I've answered the question so many times and I didn't realize you were coming at it from a slightly different angle. The answer is still the same. Just in general. So at some point it's just like, I don't know. You call Amazon. So it didn't hurt me. I just, you know, the way these Q&As go, it's weird because it's slow. We chat back and forth. And if we were sitting right in front of each other, right, then I would understand better, but we can't do that. So yeah. So I think if you follow the rules, you're in good shape. And I mean, images are it's straightforward. Like if you're getting letters from lawyers, then you got to figure out what's going on there. All right. So everyone be sure to check out doug.show, simple URL there. And you know what I'm going to answer a bunch of questions here that were left on different videos over the past little bit. I didn't paste them in the description. I'm just going to shoot from the hip here. So this person is asking, I want to know if the KGR formula, the keyword golden ratio, is only applicable for Amazon affiliate sites, or it applies to any keyword research. It applies to any keyword research. Adil says, keywords with 0 search volume and 5 all in title. Should we drop the keyword or use it? You should use it. I would go for it. Adil asks, what microphone do I use? I use 2 different kinds of microphones. So this one right here is an it's an Audix, I think i5, and it's great. I think it's sort of like Shure SM57, like the same sort of dynamic stage mic situation. So it's really like, I love it. I love it. And the other one that I use is an ATR, an Audio Technica ATR 2100, which is a little bit like more versatile as far as it has a USB plugin, so I can plug directly in, and I have an interface through this one. Next question. What about, oh, this is Peter from Poland who's with us right here. What about starting a site with an age domain and some metrics? It's great as long as you have a clean one. Shakir says, I don't get what you mean about publishing 200 posts. And this is actually the video that Echo was talking about. So Shakir says, what kind of articles were they? Were they all KGR? If so, did I write 200 KGR terms or one pillar post that had a lot of different keywords? How did I hit 200? They were all KGR posts. Yeah. All right. Further, what else do we got? Back in the chat here. Peter says, do I see Amazon affiliates going extinct in the future? No, I don't. Things change, so the program can change. However, I would say if you have traffic on your site, then you'll be able to figure out some way to monetize. So let's say Amazon went away. Well, everyone would figure out some other way to monetize their site. Maybe with Walmart, they have an affiliate program, maybe other sites just in general, or something else. Should you diversify? Well, it depends on you specifically. So if you're making, as much money as you want to be from Amazon, you're ready to move on and add other revenue streams, then yes. But if you're just, what you shouldn't do is try to diversify when you're just getting started, because you'll just be like wasting your time. Guy says, what is the highest price point for a product I would recommend? No limit. There's no limit. What I don't recommend is you have a site based on like one very expensive product or a very expensive category. You really want to have a range of prices. So I would say there's no upper limit. You just have to have diversity. And related to that, Samula Rio says, I have a post recommending products with prices from 300 to 1,000. It's number one on Google, bringing in 10 to 20 visitors a day, but it's not making sales. How can you convert expensive products? I said, get more traffic. And it's also why I don't aim for high price products. The sales process is slow. So yeah, if you got more visitors, maybe you have more data. I have no idea. No clue. It depends on the traffic. 300 to $1,000 is not crazy expensive, but it's enough where you're going to shop around a little bit. Okay. Shakir says, hi, Doug. This is a long comment, but I appreciate you taking the time, Shakir. And in fact, I'll paste a link in here to your comment. So Shakir says, hi, Doug. I'm not sure if you'll reply because apparently you get tons of questions every day. That is true. I get so many emails, but you see that I manage to answer them all. That's true. I try and get to them all. Sometimes they're real short answers if it's a kind of a bad question. So here's the thing. I'm a longtime watcher who only likes the videos and they don't comment because you're too lazy. And here I am answering all of these questions and you're too lazy to leave a comment. Well, I'm glad you left one here. So most of the keywords have a slight variation to another keyword. You don't know how to write this. If you search for one, you get less in title and all in title results, but they're the exact same things. How would I explain this? And are you starting? I am thinking about a broader niche site. So blah, blah, blah. What's my take? Yeah. So basically, like the example was best RC boat and best radio control boat. So in that case, those are literally equivalent keywords. So I would imagine that Google is substituting like one for the other, and you should sort of take the sum total of those two. That's what you do. All right. Aquamaster says, just curious. Remember you posted 200 articles and earned 10K. Was that a product niche site? So Aquamaster. I'm not sure which video you're talking about, um, but here's the thing. So whatever video it is, like I published 200 articles and then it made 10K in a month or whatever. But I think the one you're talking about is the one that Echo mentioned, and it made like 15,000. But the real like background, and I don't share all my income. I share very little of my income. Every now and then I prefer to share my students' stories. That's what I'd rather do, because I want to show that I could teach someone how to do this, not that I am especially gifted or really accomplished. I'm not. I'm just one freckled bald guy sitting here in front of the laptop, just like many others out there. The point is, I published a lot of content on this site, and it's made a lot of money over time. So that snapshot is very interesting. It makes a nice headline. What's more interesting is like the sites bring in, a lot of money. The sites bring in a lot of money. And your question is it a product niche site? Yes. Motivational says, if we have a list of keywords that naturally demands one product, can we use that differently in content? I'm not really sure what you're asking, but you can do whatever you like. Yeah. I'm not, I have no idea what you're asking there if you want to rephrase it. Daywood, what's up? You have 13 posts on KGR keywords, but the average position keeps going down. Is it because it has a low number of articles? Potentially. Also, if your site's young, you could just be going through the Google dance and it'll, go up and down over time. Gaz says you have an Amazon payout this week. Nice. Your first payout. Small wins are great. That's fantastic. Congrats. Oh, and Kevin says, what happened to Duke? He used to be here all the time. Yeah, so Duke, I actually emailed him just the other day. And I think he's just been busy over the holidays in general. So I was catching up with him like in October, and he was like, hey man, I'm going to be super busy. So let's catch up in the beginning of the year. So actually, I just emailed a ton of people to do updated interviews. So a lot of people that I talked to like last spring and then over the summer, I'm like probably going to catch up with whoever wants to talk to me, basically. All right, more questions. Amp says, after you get bids, this is about hiring writers. After you get bids, do you supply more information besides the name of the article? Do you provide subheadings? Do you tell them the name of your site so they can get a feel for the tone? I provide more, right? So I give them like a full like writing guide, and you can get those templates, by the way. If you go to my website, Niche Site Project, click the green button, enter your name and email, and then you can get all the templates that I use. But I give them sort of a style guide, which you can make it whatever you want, right? I'm like, use this font because it's the one I like, Arial, 12-point font. I tell them to, use subheadings often, but I don't tell them what to use. I may or may not tell them the name of the site if it's relevant or not. A lot of times I don't until I need them to do something on the site, for example. And the punchline is you will get better quality if you provide more information. Any last questions from the chat? I'm going to hit a couple more in the what do we have here? The comments section. Kalmadeep, what's up? He wants to know if all the KGR or all the 200 posts are KGR in the example of 100 to 15,000 in 12 months. And you know what? I will share the link to that video since I keep talking about it here. So let me see if this link works. Yes. In this video. Boom. in this video. All right, we'll share this one so everyone can join in the fun and see what we're talking about here. So it's that one. You can have a look. Oh, that's cool. I clicked on the video and it says like in the little info thing, it says Doug's live right now. That's cool. I never actually paid attention to that. So for people watching the video, they get the little pop-up. That's cool. That's cool. All right. Teeth Health says, is blog commenting a good way to get links or a waste of time? And then someone says it's a waste of time, but I said that it's a good way to network. It's a good way to network. So the links are not necessarily useful. But if you're going for KGR type content, then those links may be enough to help. Oh, and this person here, Zoo Case says, I've been following you for a while. Would it be okay if I did a text interview? I would send over a document. And this was an interesting one. This is a good example of just like outreach and like that sort of thing. So he was just like, hey, can I interview you? He didn't tell me what it was for. I don't know who this cat is at all. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And then it's interesting. It says that they're from a marketing agency, which I may do. You know what? Like, it's very straightforward, and I'm happy to like be on some roundups every now and then. But I you know what? To be honest, I don't know if he'll watch this whole video, but it's not good like outreach skills in my opinion. So all right. Gaz says, is allowing people to comment on your articles helpful for ranking? Not how you think. The one thing that may happen is if people ask questions in the comments, then you may rank for those questions. But just enabling comments and letting people comment won't necessarily move you in the rankings at all. The Lumen Vine says you're starting to use the KGR system and you're getting a lot of search volume of 0. Is it worth going after a search volume of 0? Your keywords seem like logical questions. The answer is yes. It does make sense to do that in certain cases. Excuse me. Basically, like if it's a useful piece of content or if it's a Google auto suggest or related search, then go for it. And Nicholas says, can you change the KGR titles down the road without messing everything up? 1 out of 20 articles are ranking number 1 and bringing in 2,000 visitors a month. You messed up on your KGR terms, and that's why none of the articles reach the first page. You can alter your titles without messing everything up. Generally, just changing the titles is going to be a reversible thing. So you could like change it around if you want and test things. Okay, so I'll take a look in the chat and then we'll finish up here in just a moment. All right, it looks like we're done. DNA says you have a domain. Will the rating help you rank faster? Yeah, generally. What you have to look at is like the backlinks going to the site. So if there are backlinks going to the site and they're relevant and they're from relevant sites, then it should be helpful. So If you've hung on this long, thanks a lot. Please do go to doug.show. Would really appreciate it if you download the trailer, go ahead and subscribe in whatever your favorite app is. And I think what I'm going to try and do, I mentioned it in the first episode a little bit. I haven't set a schedule in stone yet. I'm looking at like one episode per week, but if you've been around the channel for a little while, you know that I like to do like sprints of work and little challenges and all. Like it's just my thing that I like to do, I guess. So for a stretch, I'm probably going to publish 2 episodes a week. I did look around a little bit and did a little bit of research, and I do realize that if someone publishes something every day, well, one, it's like overwhelming to produce the content from my perspective, but it's also hard to consume all that content. So I may do occasionally an extra episode each week, a little shorter, something like that, but probably 1 to 2 episodes a week. Probably going to be about 50% interviews, something like that. And hopefully I'll be able to geek out about just the things I'm interested in, so we can go deep into some of the affiliate marketing topics, but we can also go deep on like beer and some other things that I'm interested in. So right. Kevin asks about doing a follow-up with a woman, and I think her name was Ellen, actually. I've emailed her recently, like before the holidays, and then just in the last couple days. So I haven't heard from her recently, but I have not done an update. Okay. So eDesigner asks, when you outsource an article, how much research can you expect the writer to do on the subject? I don't know how to answer that. As much as necessary. If it's something specific, would I pay a huge amount for 2,000 words? Um, I don't know what a huge amount of money is for you. I would expect for 2,000 words to pay between, say, $35 and $50 or so. That's kind of the area that I work in. So I don't know if that's a lot to you. You can also get more information if you go to nichesiteproject.com/FAQ, where I answer frequently asked questions similar to that. And I actually talk about that a little bit. So eDesigner, I encourage you to take a look. Thanks everyone for staying on so long. Kevin, Snar, you said good questions this week. Cool. Thanks everyone. And see you next week. Have a good weekend.